Hello, hello, hello. Heck. Hey, social. Welcome in. As you know, the other day, we beat the game. Hell yeah. We beat the main story, and now I'm just doing the after game, like, extra chapters. I already did chapters 1 through 3 of the extra chapters. We're gonna try and do 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 today, and finally be done with this whole section of the entire Corpse Party series, and then we're going to be moving on to Corpse Party Dead Patient, hopefully tomorrow. Let's get right into it. Blood Drive, Extra Chapter 4, Memories Like Beautiful Dreams. Through my hazy vision, all I could see was a red pair of eyes cutting through the darkness like flames. I could barely breathe, and I kept drifting in and out of consciousness. I wonder why. Why at a time like this would that sticker photo I kept on my desk be the first thing to pop into my mind? I know they say that our life flashes before our eyes before you die, but this was the only single page from my past, albeit a very dear one. The day was almost like a dream. I could hear their laughter in the back of my head. The sky was a beautiful crimson-purple fusion, and the sweetness of that cake from the cafe was still on my tongue as we entered the photo booth. How did things wind up like this? Did I do something wrong? And if so, when and where? Somehow the answers to these questions seemed less interesting to me by the moment as events from my past replayed themselves within me. It was like I'd gone back in time. And then all of a sudden, the sound of a door being thrown open brought me back to my senses. Sayaka, come bearing gifts, Sayaka. Sorry to keep you waiting. Were you lonely? Were you crying because you didn't know when I'd be back? Quiet, Inamaru. Dear Wuronaho was sweeping. And we wouldn't want her to wake her now, would we? Oof. I heard every word and raised my head to survey the situation, though I first regained my focus by staring at the clock above the blackboard, which slowly registered in my newly awakened mind as indicating it was now 4 o'clock. I feel like I overslept. I must have been exhausted from working on that draft late into the night, but with the deadline fast approaching, I had little other choice. I also must have been out for a really long time, as I had absolutely no memories of anything from 6th period. I looked around me, but the only other people in the room were Sayaka and Inamaru. Sorry, Naho, did we wake you? It's okay for you to go back to sleep if you want. Sayaka seemed to have noticed I'd woken up, and was running over to check on me, but I just shook my head, first to indicate no, then much harder to shake off my drowsiness. I'm fine, please don't tell me you've been waiting for me to wake up, though. If so, I'm really sorry to keep you so long. Don't apologize, Naho. There's no such thing as bad blood between the bestest buds. Sayaka flashed me an overzealous, forced smile, which I returned, though mine was quite natural. Hers probably was too, actually, though I couldn't say for sure. Either way, it was super cute. So, Inamaru, where is it? Did you get it? The tone of her voice changed completely, and her smile disappeared too, now that she was addressing Inamaru instead of me. If you should extend your beautiful, delicate hand to me, I would happily answer your questions with all the love of my heart and soul. Says Chaz, how do I love thee? Permit me to count the ways. That's a definite no on that one. All I want from you is what I sent you to get. Manservant. I can see the embarrassment written plainly in her face. How long must this first go on before you show me your true colors? Haruyuki Inamaru was our mutual classmate and a childhood friend of Sayaka's. Everything he did for Sayaka. His whole world seemed to revolve around her, and sometimes she'd play along, making his day, but that hadn't happened for a while now. He had the blood of an Izumo priest running through his veins, which gave him a considerable amount of spiritual ability, though he never seemed to like having that brought up. Sayaka, did you ask Inamaru to bring you something? Yeah, snacks. You want some too? I'm good, but here. If you're hungry, you should just eat on the way home. That's why I'd always been taught. Though actually, we did eat on our way home. On the way home all the time, so I guess the particular hunger somehow ran deeper. I'm hungry now and I can't keep this beast caged up any longer. I want to eat right here. Hmm? Saika, here they are. Inamura, who left the room without our knowledge a few seconds earlier, suddenly burst back in with a flatbread cart in tow, squeaking away. And I could hardly believe what was on it. Ta-da, how's this, Saika? I brought you a whole smorgasbord. Boxes and boxes of fatty, sugary, pre-packaged foods lined every square inch of the transport. Cakes, waffles, donuts, oh, and a box from the pretzel shop that recently opened too. Add to that cookies, pies, macaroons, even ice cream. He had all the bases covered for sure. Hey, they look so tasty. Time for a sugar high. To my surprise, Saika beelined for one of the boxes, setting in motion what may have been the biggest binge I'd ever seen. Box after box fall before her, many before she even sat down. So sweet, this is heaven. Saika was ingesting these fatty, sugary, processed foods at an alarming rate. I never seen one person eat so much food, so she shouldn't be in such a period of that time. Hello? I've never seen one person eat so much food. She shouldn't in such a short period of time. Okay. Saika, are you feeling okay? Hmm? Oh, did you want some too? Help yourself. Everything is simply scrumptious. Were you seriously that hungry? I totally was. I just had a real craving for something sweet. I'm a little worried about all the calories, but what can you do? The stomach wants what it wants. You're not planning to eat all of this, are you? I was legitimately scared by the sheer quantity of sweets still stacked on the cart. I mean, I loved candy as much as the next person, but I was practically getting heartburn just looking at this massive haul. Yeah, of course, I'll eat it all. Wait, Saika, you can't be serious, but I am. Quite an appetite on this one. Just let me know if that's enough for you, Saika, and I'll go get you some more right away. What are you saying, Inamaro? Even if she just eats everything you brought her already, she's going to get fat in no time. That's not a problem, Sanoki. No matter how plump she may get, Saika will always be the cutest. So I would be glad if I could get my arms all the way around her when I hug her, I suppose. Stop being stupid and bring me that box, Inamaro. As you wish. Oh, would you like me to feed it to you? Here, this macaron has your name all over it. Now it has your fingerprints all over it, which is gross. You eat it. Hey, Saika gave me a snack. It's like a fucking lost dog. Man, poor guy. Inamaro was now holding the macaron close to his heart, with a joyous expression on his face. I couldn't bear to look at it anymore, so I turned my attention back to Sayaka. I studied her as she continued to engorge herself, trying to determine how someone so typically mild-mannered had wound up in such a state. This is decidedly not normal behavior for her in any way. Something was definitely off. Actually, I'm sensing some kind of disturbance. The longer I stared at her, the more I was able to make out a faint shadow wavering just behind her. A spirit? It was a low-level spirit, one that could easily slip by unnoticed if a highly trained observer weren't looking very, very closely. Specifically, it was the spirit of a little girl, and its attachment to Sayaka was quite weak. It wouldn't take a lot of effort to exercise. How careless of me not to notice this presence sooner. I was now fully convinced that Sayaka's superhuman appetite originated from that little girl. There's a spirit attached to you, Sayaka. Sit still, I'll get rid of it. I produced a talisman from my bag and was just about to throw it down, but Sayaka quite aggressively shook her head at the notion. Stop, Noho, she's not a bad spirit. What? I actually feel really bad for her. She was walking home one day, all excited, after buying herself some really top quality candy, when she got hit by a car whose driver had fallen asleep at the wheel, killing her instantly. At the moment of her death, all she wanted was to eat tasty sweets, but since she couldn't fulfill that wish, she couldn't pass on. For the longest time, she didn't have enough energy to possess anyone, but she finally managed to save enough, and the person she latched onto was me. Are you seriously sympathizing with her? You know you can't do that, Sayaka. Opening your heart to spirits can only lead to trouble. Now, you're a girl too. You get where she's coming from, don't you? Imagine if you've been psyched to eat super nice sweets for a long, long time, and you got them, but then died before you could taste any. That would totally blow, wouldn't it? I'm sure it would, but still. See, so I'm planning to eat sweets until this little girl is satisfied. That's the least I can do. I mean, just look, every time I eat something sweet, just look at how happy it makes her. The girl behind Sayaka did seem genuinely pleased every time Sayaka popped something into her mouth, and there wasn't the slightest hint of malevolence from her. If anything, she projected a certain innocence that genuinely even made me sympathize with her. Still, I really don't want to see Sayaka get fat. One of my secret joys was admiring Sayaka's magazine spreads. Let's go, lesbians, let's go. She always wore the most beautiful clothes, exhibiting a true sense of style and a true understanding of fashion in every photograph. Though I could hardly say that out loud, it was much too embarrassing. Sayaka, no matter how good or pure the spirit, possession never ends well. She really should be exercised. She's the girl without a single malicious thought in her mind. I'll be fine. Honestly, if a person who'd been possessed is covering from the spirit, that makes exorcism much more difficult, even potentially impossible, low level or no. My hands were more or less tied. Inamura, can you help me convince Sayaka to go through with the exorcism? Convince her why? You don't want Sayaka to continue to be possessed, do you? Well, I guess it's a little worrisome, but I'm also really moved by Sayaka's kindness. It takes a big heart to sympathize with the dead. Don't tell me you're okay with what she's doing. Well, it's not an evil spirit, right? And you don't care if Sayaka takes in so many calories that she has to quit modeling? Of course not. If that's what Sayaka wants, then that's what I want too. Our hearts are as one. Guess that's what I get asking you for help. My head began to hurt, and every second I watched Sayaka continue to devour her snacks, I became more and more inclined to stop her. I think this calls for more drastic measures. Sayaka might hate me for this, I thought, but that was a risk I was willing to take. My course of action decided upon, I took my stance and prepared to send that girl along to the ever after. But before I could even begin to chat, an unexpected visitor arrived. My, what a wonderful aroma. May I join you? The classroom door was wide open, and there she stood, the infamous Aiko Niwa, wearing a unique combination of kimono and school uniform. She was a self-proclaimed intelligence agent from class 3-5, and she had a lot of tendencies that I found distasteful. Specifically, she seemed to live for collecting spirit items, and just in general came across as a bit shady and manipulative, or at least that's how I'd always seen her. I-ho. Mouthful of donuts, Sayaka nonetheless did her best to acknowledge the presence of this new arrival. She wasn't particularly fond of Aiko, however, as the two of them had butt heads previously. But Sayaka had a general love of beautiful girls, and lesbian. And Aiko ranked fairly high on the beauty scale, so she always seemed a little conflicted about that. What are you here for, Aiko? No, there's no need to speak to me so coldly, Naho. I was just ascending the stairs on my way home when my nose detected a sweet scent and followed it here. Where lo and behold, I found you. Could this be fate? Aiko, stop trying to seduce Naho. I'm sure you don't know what you're talking about, and I appreciate it if you wouldn't make such accusations. Aiko, don't pester Sayaka. I would never. I don't really have the time to be dealing with you right now. Is that so? She tilted her head and examined the cart full of sweets, then compared its size to Sayaka's tiny frame. Well now, have you been offered a position as a female sumo wrestler? Huh? Sayaka's a female sumo wrestler. Oh god. Sayaka seemed confused and Inamaru seemed disturbingly intrigued. I just ignored them both and let out a huge sigh. Look a little closer, Aiko. Can't you see there's a spirit behind her? Now that you mention it, my, what a thin presence she has. She's possessed. Sayaka's forcing her to eat sweets on her behalf. I went to exercise her, but Sayaka's not cooperating, so things aren't exactly going well. So that's it then. May I take a closer look at her? Aiko cautiously approached Sayaka and observed the spirit's behavior for a moment. Aiko's passion was the collection of spirit items, infused with the deep hatred or malice, so if this little girl wound up being a little darker than she seemed, Aiko would undoubtedly snatch her away on the spot. So you're a big fan of sweets, huh? I see. And how do you feel about dying in that accident? You must have a lot of regrets, I bet. Have you ever thought about killing or cursing the person who did this to you? Really? Well, have you ever wanted other people to end up the same way you did? Oh, I see. Aiko broke off the conversation shortly after this exchange and walked back toward me with slumped shoulders. It's no use, she won't budge. There's so much potential when becoming a spirit, but this girl just wants to eat delicious candy and she'll be completely satisfied. Can you believe it, Naho? She's saying she holds no grudge, but that can't be possible, right? Even if it is, there's simply no value to be had in spirits like that. Aiko had completely lost interest, and she didn't seem to care that little girl had heard every word she'd said. The spirit was on verge of tears, shrinking back behind Sayaka to distance herself as much as possible from the hostile new presence. If Aiko is that adamant, then I guess the poor thing really doesn't hold any ill will. I told you I feel really bad for her. Please try to understand, Naho. Sayaka spoke with a bit of staccato, her lips sticky with the apple pie residue. But Sayaka, if you keep eating like that, it's going to catch up with you. You think so? You're not going to let Naho exorcise the ghost because you feel sorry for her then? Huh? Yeah. I see, so despite how much Naho is hurt by your actions, you're going to side with that spirit? Huh? Oh? See, Naho, isn't Sayaka mean? Hey Misfit, welcome in. We just started extra chapter 4. Aiko smiled and sidled up next to me. She was clearly plotting something. She took my hand in hers and wrapped her fingers around it delicately. Let's leave this uncouth girl who has no regard for your feelings and go out on a date, shall we? No, you can't! Sayaka immediately shot to her feet. Oh yeah, this is the Let's Go Lesbians, Let's Go chapter. Our favorite lesbians from Book of Shadows. Sayaka immediately shot to her feet, knocking over her chair in the process. And just like that, she no longer had the slightest interest in any part of the mountain of candy that lay sprawled out before her. This sudden shift separated the spirit from Sayaka, as if the cord had been cut on a kite. If you're going to date anyone, Naho, date me. I'm off after school today. What do you say, huh? Huh? That's fine, I guess. Alright, scored a date with Naho. Sayaka hugged me excitedly, and I was overjoyed. It was always nice knowing how much other people really care about you. But that for a brief moment, my eyes locked with those of the little girl's spirit floating in the air, and that's all it took. Crap. The spirit was quicker to act than I was to realize what I'd done. By the time I had, it was too late. She was already within me. Instantly, my stomach emptied. I was intensely, massively hungry, the hungriest I'd ever been. Actually, Sayaka, sorry, but let's hold off on that date for a little. Huh? I absolutely have to eat that. I flew over to Sayaka's chair and threw open one of the stacked boxes. Jackpot, it was full of custard-filled cream puffs. I grabbed one and just shoved it into my mouth with absolutely no regard for mess or manners. The rich custard melted in my mouth and the light, delicate aroma filled my nostrils. But rather than sating my appetite, the delicious temptation only made it stronger. So good. Oh dear, it looks like your spirit has found its way into Naho now. What? Oh wow, you're right. Naho, are you okay? I had neither the time nor desire to answer her question. I was too busy moving my hands and mouth after eating the sweets or formulating a game plan to eat further sweets more efficiently, but I couldn't exactly leave her hanging. I'm fine. After every bite, the girl possessing me expressed pure, absolute gratitude. I heard whispers from her to the effort of, I'm so happy and thank you so much, and I immediately realized this could be a real problem. I totally get why Sayaka felt sympathy for this girl. The desire to continue eating no matter what made the spirit every girl's worst enemy, and the worst part was just you just couldn't say no to her. She was too relatable. Rarely had I ever encountered a spirit who elicited such empathy, and its host would choose not to part with it. This eclair is amazing. You don't want any more, Sayaka? No, I'm full. Actually, wow, did I really eat this much? The number of open, empty boxes is either astounding or sickening, depending on your viewpoint. I can tell you were enjoying the food, Sayaka, but the unrestrained, unbridled passion with which you consumed it. You're almost certainly going to gain a little weight from the experience, too, and personally, I can't wait. I hope you'll allow me to touch your tummy and feel up that food, baby. I don't understand this writing sometimes. No way, I'm much more comfortable being the toucher than the touchy. Taking a sip of my Mountain Dew. Really, Sayaka? Have you been holding back this whole time, then? It's okay, you know, you can touch me, pet me, or hug me all you want anytime. Shut up, Inamaru. Nobody's talking to you. Inamaru was quickly knocked to the floor. Ew, brother, yeah. This was normal, and then it became not. It's Corpse Party. It's never gonna be normal. Sayaka then ran right past him over to me. Oh, don't eat another bite. I don't want you to get fat. Bro. Easier said than done. I just want to keep eating. I can't help it. No getsies, fatsies for you, please. Also, how concerned, but but my hunger could not be easily sated. My hands just couldn't stop grabbing candies and sweets and desserts one after another. I'll be glad to exercise that spirit for you, Sayaka, if you want. But I feel bad for her. Isn't there any other way? I can just remove the spirit from her, but if we leave it be, it'll probably possess someone else. As long as it's not possessing Naho, I have a feeling Sayaka wouldn't mind that arrangement one bit. No, that's a problem all its own. I'm just sure... well, I'm not sure what I should do. Sayaka took a contemplative stance, holding her head in her hands as she attempted to suss out a possible solution to this problem. And it didn't take her long to brainstorm something. I know, how about we appease her so she can move on? Just let her continue to eat sweets until she's satisfied? That's going to leave us in the same exact situation. Yeah, you and Tsunuki have both eaten a lot, but the spirit doesn't seem to be anywhere close to being appeased yet. I can't even imagine how much more you'll need to eat before she is. That's not quite what I mean. She died after buying some super fancy sweets, but not being able to eat them, right? So if we can introduce her to something really hoity-toity that she's never eaten before, I bet that should be more than enough for her to rest in peace. Hey, that's a good idea. The spirit seemed to be in agreement as well. She was nodding furiously. Even she hadn't considered this plan previously, but she was clearly all aboard now. Are there any good high-end sweet shops nearby? I bought from nearly everyone in the area as a show of my love for Sayaka. Well, if none of that's doing the trick, then I guess we just need to find something even more delicious. Naho, can you think of anything? There's a cat cafe. Let's save that one for our date. Sayaka rejected my suggestion. Not that it was particularly likely to appease the spirit anyway, since the true point of the cafe wasn't its sweet, but its feline companions. Well, Naho, I guess that just means you and I are going to need to go on that date after all. Huh? A ticket was handed to me, presented with a certain flair that suggested it must have been something special. Cafe Horthath? That was the name, and the ticket also bore the date as well as a 5:30 p.m. timestamp. That's... Sayaka clearly recognized the significance of what I'd just been handed. That's a sweet shop in front of the next station down the line. You know, the one you have to reserve seats at a year in advance? What? The piece of cake I've been eating fell from my mouth and from my now agape mouth and crumbled onto the floor. I remembered hearing about this place during a TV feature. During its grand opening, the reservation line backed up pedestrian traffic throughout the station. Are we seriously talking about that place? And your reservations are actually for today? Where did you get these, Aiko? I confiscated them from someone who failed to become a customer of mine. Aiko said this in a coy, playful voice, clearly riding the waves of Sayaka's excitement. She continued in this manner, outlining her story in greater detail. I gave my client the requested information, but received not a single yen in compensation, and I've been unable to establish any contact since. That's just poor business, don't you think? So, as a form of collateral, I collected that person's entire savings along with anything else I could find that seemed to be of some worth. Their entire savings? Yes, that's right, and I found these tickets in the mix. Ha, get fucked. I was thinking of selling them, but they're only good for today. And it's always nice to eat delicious food with the people one truly cares about from time to time. People you care about? Us? Of course, and you're all welcome to join. Not just Naho, but you two as well. Sayaka and Haruki, what do you say? Are you sure? Of course, I'd love to build a better relationship with you all, and this seems like a perfect opportunity. You hear that, Naho? Come on, let's go! If you're going, then I'm going. I'll follow you to the ends of the earth, Sayaka, so take heart. I wasn't asking you! Sayaka beat the ever-loving snot out of Inamaru again. I took this opportunity to glance over at Aiko and study her for any signs of ulterior motive. People you care about, huh? I don't remember ever even getting along with you. I know Aiko for a while, but mostly just as a colleague in supernatural studies. I've never gone out with her, nor even sat in and drunk tea with her, like I frequently would with Sayaka. My Naho, you look perturbed. Is something the matter? Aiko, what are you planning? I'm not planning anything but a good time. I just thought it might be nice to drink tea and make small talk. Chat about something other than spirit items for a change. Really? Really? Also Naho? Suddenly she was right next to me, and with her porcelain-like fingers she lifted the strawberry from the shortcake I was eating. We're close friends, right? And it's normal for close friends to go out for tea after school, no? Close friends? Here, say, Instinctively I did open my mouth, at which point the strawberry was gently placed on my tongue and I found myself swallowing it without hesitation. You're so messy, you put cream all over your mouth. She brought her finger up to my lips and wiped the cream from them. After which point she stuck the same finger in her own mouth, savoring the second-hand cream she'd scored. Oh, is it hot in here? Oh god. Whoa. It's so light and sweet. Oh, what the hell are you doing? Oh, I'm melting. Two sexy ladies feeding each other and sharing whipped cream. Sayaka shrieked and held her nose, presumably to keep it from bleeding. Which did seem to be a real concern given how red her face had gone. Thank you for this TV scene, but no, I can't let it go on. Aiko, you're not to even lay one finger on Naho anymore. Sayaka. This is the best polyamory relationship I've ever seen. These three girls. Honestly, it should just be these three girls, and then Inamaru is their manservant. He's not part of the relationship, really. He's just there to be a manservant. And then these three other relationship. Sayaka burst between me and Aiko and hugged me with ferocious intensity. Her fresh citrus perfume tickled the inside of my nose as her supple breast, roughly the same size as my own, pressed up against my face. Which made it kind of hard to breathe for a moment. Oh god. Death by snoo snoo. Sayaka, you're suffocating me. I'm sorry, Naho. But if I don't do this, Aiko's going to make you open up and say ah again. No, she won't. You two certainly do have a lovely relationship. You're making me jealous. Aiko's faux pouty voice was only making matters worse for Sayaka, and in turn I was getting more and more fed up with the whole situation. Which is about when I realized that my body had grown lighter. I'm not possessed anymore? My concern over suffocating to death on Sayaka's boobs seemed to have diverted my attention away from the delicious sweets. And sure enough, it only took a moment of scanning the area around me to see the spirit girl floating freely, looking a bit concerned. She seemed to be trying to decide between Aiko and Inamaru, and the latter of whom was on the ground holding a stomach. Naturally, she chose to possess Inamaru this time. Well, I was sudden craving for sugar. He quickly shot to his feet and ran full speed toward the remaining piles of boxes of candies and confectionaries. This is so good, I'm totally going to get fat from it though, and that's really bad. But you'll love me, even if I'm chunky, won't you, Sayaka? Naho, over here, you'll stay out from me too, right? Come on, open your mouth, here comes the airplane! Sayaka, why do we have to do this somewhere? Can we do this somewhere a little more private? No, there's no need to worry about that, Naho. You're not that shy, are you? Come on. Oh, didn't you hear my question, Sayaka? Oh, I get it. You want me to diet with you, don't you? Guess I'll have to go buy some workout clothes then. What would be good, I wonder? We're going to want to wear matching outfits, so... Just stop talking, you're only making things worse. Watching you also is so very entertaining. I'm not sure I'd ever get tired of it. And in the manner of conversation, devolved into pure anime tropes, remaining in such a state for the entire walk to Cathay Horthath. Out of breath, we finally arrived to the destination only 5 minutes after the 5:30 reservation time. Fashionably late, some might say. Oh, I have to save? Damn, last save slot. We pushed open the heavy doors and heard the clinking and clambering of the very unique door chime as we stepped across the threshold. The server quickly came and took Aiko's reservation ticket, then guided us to our seats. I can't take it anymore. Inamaru began sucking on some candy while we waited to help stave off his insatiable hunger. When our menus arrived, he opened his in record time and began salivating. The dessert menu, which represented the majority of this cafe's famous offerings, was filled with items that aroused our appetites. No, caramel honey pancakes topped with chestnuts, baked donuts with hot chocolate fondue, mixed berry waffles and 3 flavored sorbet. Oh my god. Banana omelet smothered in mango sauce. What should we do, Naho? Everything here sounds amazing, I can't choose. Yeah, we've already had enough sugar to keep us up all week, but we can't very well come here and not order something. Excuse me, we're ready to order. Sayaka and I were still deciding, but Aiko flagged down the server anyway. He was an elderly man with a very professional, very respectful disposition, and strangely, I kind of felt like I recognized him. What can I get for you today? I have the no-bake green tea cheesecake and a white flowered camellia. And a roasted green milk tea, please. Very good. I'll take everything from this page to this page. Alright. Oh, seriously? I have to, I'm so hungry. I feel like I'm about to die of starvation. Okay. Will that be all? No, what are you getting? How about a chamomile tea and a banana omelet? And I'll have the raspberry chiffon cake with the peach tea. Excellent choices. I'll get your orders in right away. This person, I swear I've seen him somewhere before. The server swiftly took his leave as I tilted my head, trying desperately to place him. This wasn't just someone I met once or twice, but numerous times yet. For the life of me, I couldn't figure out where, or under what circumstances. Hey, doesn't our server look familiar to you guys? I posed the question to the table as a whole, but Sayaka and Inamaro just flashed me a strange look. You think I can't imagine I'd ever forget a gentleman like that? Like him, but no, I can't place him. And I can't really remember anyone other than Sayaka. Okay. What about you, Aiko? I know him very well. Look over there. He's that girl's assistant now. That girl? I followed Aiko's finger with my eyes, and found myself face to face with a young girl wearing a Lolita-style dress decorated liberally with ribbons. Hello to you, Sunoki and her delightful friends. Magari! Huh? Aren't you that transfer student? Magari Mizuki. Magari, my beloved. She studied our reactions for a moment, then got up from her chair and approached me. Mizuki had recently transferred to our class, though no one really knew much about her. Her features were doll-like, with perfect skin complemented by the adorable outfit. She was cheek-pinchingly cute at first glance, but beneath the surface she was ruthless and cruel. Our server is Waldo Mizuki, Magari's butler. Intelligence indeed, Aiko knew. Very, very impressive that you even know about Waldo. She cackled and pulled over a chair from a nearby table, and suddenly she was now sitting with us, like we were old friends catching up. What's the meaning of this? Why are you even here? Because I own this place. What? You lie. I don't lie, or at least I'm not lying right now. Aiko, you knew this would happen when you brought us here, didn't you? I gave her the stinkiest stink eye I could imagine, but she just shrugged her shoulders nonchalantly. I had an inkling, yes. What are you plotting? Why would I be plotting anything? Because if we'd known this place belonged to her, we wouldn't have come, so spit it out. So demanding, none of you asked who the owner of Cafe Horfath was. However, did you? That doesn't matter, you could have still said something. Sayaka puffed up her cheeks and stared at Aiko. Mizuki is seriously the last person we need to get involved with right now. I previously found myself butting heads with Mizuki over supernatural matters, and naturally Sayaka had gotten pulled into the fray as well, but strangely so had Aiko. Yet now, all of a sudden, Aiko had invited us to a cafe owned by Mizuki, which suggested to me that she had some nefarious plan in mind. If you're the owner of this place, Mizuki, then I guess that must mean you're pretty rich, huh? Inamaro, naturally again, was the only one of us totally out of the loop about her. He thought nothing of making small talk with someone he presumably saw only as a classmate. Not really, this isn't anything special. Also, who are you again? Haruki Inamaro. You can think of me as Sayaka's lover from a past life. That'll tell you everything you need to know. From a past life, huh? Yep, that's right, you can tell because our pinkies are bound together by the red string of fate. You're pretty funny. Mizuki, you shouldn't believe a word this lying dog tells you. You're better off just ignoring him. I don't know, his story seems pretty genuine to me, and I'm pretty good at judging these things. Mizuki smiled brightly. It was hard to tell whether she was serious or just trying to mess with Sayaka. The look in her eyes was plainly that of an evil mastermind, yet her smile was absolutely perfect and beautiful in every way, which somehow made it all the more unsettling. So, why are you sitting up with us again? Because I was hoping we could be friends. After what you did to us, how dare you? What, oh dear, am I being shunned, your own classmate? Cruelly excluded from your clique? That's a form of bullying, you know. I didn't mean it in that way, I just... Just what, you bullied me for the hell of it? For no other reason than your own amusement? That's even worse. I had no idea you were that kind of person, Sayaka. Ugh. Sayaka's cheeks swelled up bit by bit. They almost looked like you could prick them with a pin and they'd pop wide open. Bear with it, Sayaka. But now home. I don't like her any more than you do, believe me. She is your classmate though, is she not? In which case it does seem a bit pitiable for her to get excluded. Seems you got a good head on your shoulders after all, Aiko. Whose side are you on? That should be obvious, you needn't even ask. I'm on the side that will benefit me the most, and if Magari and I have a good relationship with one another, I might just be able to hear a little bit more about her spirit items. Besides which, I've always felt that tea never tastes quite as sweet after you've ousted someone from the table. Yes, it's all just as Aiko says. Why are you all being so unfriendly toward one another? And then Mario was clueless, and it would take far too long to explain the situation to him, so I figured it was easier just to ignore him completely. I looked everyone else in the eye for a second though, ultimately settling on Sayaka. She was in tears. If Sayaka's seriously crying, there's no turning back. I have to stand my ground here. I'm sorry, Mizuki, but I really think we're going to have to insist you not join us at our table. That's your final answer then? I hope you're sure about this. Refusing the owner's favor means no banana omelet, you know. And Sayaka doesn't get to eat her scrumptious chiffon cake either. Can you live with that? I'll be forced to cancel the orders from your other two guests as well, naturally. What? But I'm so hungry. You think I care? If you're that hungry, go shove some cheap-ass junk food down your face hole outside. That's a dick move, Mizuki. I didn't want to be this confrontational, but I didn't see that I much had a choice. Besides, which it was really a dick move. He came all the way here just because we weren't sucking up to the owner. We had to leave without eating anything? That's just unprofessional. It shouldn't have even been an option. Fine, you want to sit with us? You can sit with us. Really now? But only on one condition. I wanted to eat these supposedly legendary sweets, but Sayaka was too near and dear for me to just let this go on Mizuki's terms. So I decided to do some bargaining. If you can promise you won't do anything to get under our skin, then fine, we'll allow you to sit with us. Mizuki's eyes widened and a grin crept across her face. You mean something like this? She moved faster than my eyes could see. Suddenly, she had my arm and was pulling me in close, and then before I knew it, I was feeling a continuous warm and squishy sensation on my cheek. No, her cheek! My, how passionate. That's really something. Is it normal for girls today to kiss each other on the cheek? Girl, what year is this set in? Lesbians have been existing. Sayaka? Has the shock of this public display rendered you speechless, Sayaka? Personally, I'm shocked you haven't told us that you're melting yet, you poor thing. But really, how long did you plan to stay like that? This was around when I finally came back to my senses. Instead of just a simple peck on the cheek, Mizuki had been sucking my skin this entire time. And now that this realization had finally dawned on me, I immediately pushed her away. What the hell are you doing? Get away from me! Your cheek just looks so delicious, I simply had to have a taste. Finally distanced from my cheek, she glared ferociously at me, seemingly sizing me up to determine whether or not I was worthy of remaining in her establishment. Evidently, I passed the test as she'd finally raised her arm into the air and snapped her fingers, signaling to her butler. Bring them here, Waldo. Yes, ma'am. On Mizuki's command, the butler come server arrived with a literal wagon full of sweets. Mizuki stood up, smiling gleefully, as various plates and teacups were neatly or almost ceremoniously placed in front of each of us. Oh, they all look amazing. Is it really okay to start eating? I don't think I can wait any longer. Please go ahead. I give you my personal guarantee that the sweets here at Cafe Horthath will provide you with the ultimate sugary escape. So sweet. Inamura wasted no time digging into dish after dish, barely stopping to chew his food before shoveling another forkful into his mouth. Possessed or no, it was a terrifying sight to behold. This is incredible. It's just incredible, Mizuki. I'm glad to hear it suits your taste. Now come on, everyone. Dig in, dig in. Sanuki, would you like me to feed you? What? No, I'm quite alright. No need to be so modest. We're bestest buddies, aren't we? What's a little spoon-feeding between besties? Well, back it up there, Sex. Since when have we been bestest buddies? What's that? Has Naho made herself another best friend? Your popularity truly is staggering, you know. As your best friend myself, though, it does concern me a bit. That's not what I call you either, Aiko. You hide your embarrassment so very skillfully, Naho. What embarrassment? Oh yes, play it off like casual. I know how shy you are deep down. You have a good poker face though. So it took me quite a while to figure you out. You know, this is starting to get kind of old. I had a splitting headache at this point, and all I could think of, no better cure for it than vast quantities of sugar. I took my knife and fork and cut off a big piece of my banana omelet, shoving it in my mouth and while swishing it around a little to savor it. Amazing. This may be the finest dessert I've ever had. The sweetness of the soft sponge cake and the richness of the cream melted together in my mouth to create a veritable symphony of flavor. And mixed in with it was this bittersweet banana itself, the crown atop this royal treat. What do I do? My hands won't stop. Right? Surprisingly, Mizuki's expression had changed to something altogether more innocent than before as she delightedly ingested spoonfuls of sweet confection. Hers was a parfait topped with a cavalcade of grapes. This is so delicious. I truly am a genius. It's not like you're the one who made it, though. I held my tongue, better not to stir the pot right now. To help keep me quiet, I shoveled another piece of omelet into my mouth. I really can't deny the quality of this food. This place definitely warrants its reservation-only nature. My dessert was basically flawless. And though it was very, very full, I just couldn't stop going back for more. Every now and again, this really isn't so bad, is it? Spending time with friends after school, indulging in tea and sweets, it's kind of a new experience for me. Usually the only person I can count on to be there for me is Waldo. Oh. But I'm really having fun here, so everything's on me. Meaning you better not hold back. Thank you very much. Well, okay, if you're sure. I have to admit, this caught me off guard and never expected someone like Mizuki to be so amiable. I forked another omelet piece into my mouth, feeling cautiously triumphant. Soon enough, I was not only beyond sated, but happy as well. Looking around, the others seemed to be in high spirits as well, except for Saika, who still haven't even picked up her fork. Saika, what's wrong? I can't just accept this, huh? I'm your #1 bestest friend of them all, not aren't I? Yeah. Startled by this question, I made the mistake of hesitating in my answer. It wasn't a lie. All anyone had to do was watch the two of us in action. It was obvious we were as close as friends could be. But Saika saw my hesitation as a clear indicator that I was lying. She took it as an implied no, and her self-confidence suddenly fell to the floor. If I'm not #1, then what place am I? Well, Saika, you're absolutely my #1. Honest. I mean, there's not even any contest. You have nothing to worry about. Really? Really, so come on, don't cry. I'm not crying. I guess she got me there. She wasn't crying, but she looked like a volcano about to erupt. She continued to study my expression for a while, with her vaguely watery saucer eyes. So on your next day off, we can go to the cat cafe together? Yes, of course. If that's what you want, we can go to all the cat cafes together. Before that, though, we can go buy matching clothes so we can wear them together? Huh? We can go as a pair, right? Because I'm your #1 friend, right? I guess it'd be okay if it were someplace without a lot of people, but to a cat cafe? You don't want us to match? No, I didn't say that, Saika. Okay, you know what? Let's do it. We'll go in matching clothes, dressing as a pair. Might be kind of a fun change of pace. Also, will you open and say "ah" for me there like you did with Aiko? Huh? This time I was kind of at a loss for words. Going as a pair to a popular place like a cat cafe and getting fed by her on top of that is just... What do you mean by that? Did you really do that with Sanoki, Aiko? Oh yes, in the classroom just before coming here, but I put the whole incident behind me at this point. I very much hope you don't hold a grudge against me for it, Sayaka. If Aiko was able to do it, then I want to do it too, Sanoki. Open your mouth for a sec. No, if you're going to lay a finger on Naho from this point, you're going to have to go through me first. You sure that's what you want? Hold it, we're just going in circles here, so everybody who's not Sayaka, please shut your mouth. Sayaka and Mizuki looked at me like they were about to face off in an epic combat. So I decided enough was enough and stepped in and put a stop to it. This is the most lesbianic chapter I have ever gone through, and I'm eating it up. I'm loving it. And in doing so, I realized the other customers in the establishment have on sign as well, and were all staring at us. That wasn't as much as a surprise as it probably should have been, though, given how loud we were being. You need to calm down, Sayaka, okay? I am calm. No, you're not. I can tell you're losing your cool. How about you eat some cake to soothe your nerves? See, doesn't this look good? I tried to divert her focus to one of the chiffon cakes we'd received, but Sayaka just kept her gaze firmly glued to mine. Then she leaned in toward me, and the spark of an idea across her face. If you don't want to open up and say ah, then I want to kiss you on the cheek like Mizuki did. Come on, Naho, that should be fine, right? Sayaka approached me quickly, and I instinctively shrank back into my chair a bit. Sayaka, please get a hold of yourself. I am, and I'm going to disinfect my dear Naho's cheek. What was that? Oh no, no, no. Are you implying my lips are anything but pure and perfect? Do you need me to kiss you too to prove it? I will not kiss anyone but Naho, and Naho can't kiss anyone but me. Sayaka, please quiet down. But Naho, I believe I have a solution to this dilemma. How about each one of us in turn feeds her and kisses her on the cheek? Then we'll all be on the same page, you see? What is wrong with you, Aika? Yeah, if we all do it, then what's the point anymore? Well, think about it, Sayaka. The reason you're depressed right now is because Magari and I were able to flirt with Naho in ways that you weren't, right? Well, yeah, but... And meanwhile, I'm depressed because Magari was able to kiss her, and Magari is depressed because I was able to feed her. So, if each of us do to Naho, now that which we haven't done before, we'll have each both kissed and fed her, and the slate will be wiped clean. And once we've all experienced the joys of intimately flirting with Naho in these two separate ways, peace will finally return to this cafe. Wow, that's brilliant. Really, I'm totally okay fighting you guys in cold blood over this if I have to, you know. But Magari, occasional compromises are a staple among friends to help make the bonds of friendship stronger, or so I hear. Seriously? I mean, I don't go around making out with my friends, but sure. This entire conversation was raising a lot of questions for me, and not just the obvious ones. Mizuki barely even seemed to know what the word compromise meant, and Aiko seemed to be basing her understanding of it entirely on hearsay. Was it really possible that neither of them had ever actually compromised on something before? What kind of life have these two been living? So Sayaka, you'll get to feed Naho and kiss her on the cheek. In exchange, I'll get to kiss Naho on the cheek myself, and Magari will get to feed her. That should make everything equal, and then voila, case closed, right? Why me? Why are you complaining, Naho? Fine, today's the day I made new friends, so I guess I'll try this compromise thing, but this is a one-time only deal. Okay, I'll go along with this. Not you too, Sayaka. Everybody wants to be that special someone for you, Naho, but we're all holding back. Still, if I need to sit back and watch others flirt with you, I can do that, for the greater good. Are you hearing yourself, Sayaka? Alright, Naho, ready or not, here I come. Sayaka stood up from her seat and grasped my shoulders with both hands. She had a serious, solemn look in her eyes. Sayaka? I'm going to start with the kiss on the cheek, and after that I want you to open up and say ah for me. I'm next then. I should stand in line behind Sayaka. Me too. Make sure you don't take too long though, Sayaka. Remember, there are other customers waiting. Aiko and Mizuki rose from their seats and queued up behind Sayaka. The actual other customers looked very uncomfortable. They were half watching, half intentionally averting their eyes, and seeming uncertain with which approach was more proper. I mean, yeah, Japan has a huge stigma on, you know, LGBT stuff. I haven't really looked into it, but, you know, my community will never be accepted, and I am just gonna take that with a grain of salt. I hate people, though homosexuality has been around since the beginning. It was literally one of the first signs in all animals, and is normalized within the animal kingdom as normal behavior. And if y'all don't remember, we evolved from animals. So, yeah. Straightness was not the first thing on any of their minds. But, yeah, sigh. The world started with gayness. A drag queen was there at, no, Trixie Mattel was there at the Big Bang. Trixie Mattel caused the Big Bang, and here we are. But, okay, whatever. Thank you for this treat. Sayaka's face slowly approached mine. It was only a kiss on the cheek, but her expression was that of a microsurgeon focusing on a patient. It made me extremely, inexplicably nervous. Wait, I need time to prepare. But I wasn't going to get any. Sayaka was about to bring it in for the landing, and there was no stopping her now. The one that started it all, Trixie Mattel. Fine, if you're going to do this, just do it. Like a warrior preparing to go into battle, I tightly closed my eyes and waited my destiny. Inamaru's sudden, unexpected explanation caused me to jump and seemed to pause Sayaka's advance as well. When I opened my eyes, I could see that Sayaka was not at all happy with her childhood friend. What the hell, Inamaru? This was my moment! Saved by the yell. I breathed a breathless sigh of relief and turned to the face of Inamaru. He'd been eating his mountain in sweets in silence this whole time, but was now pointing outside the window. Over there. We each followed his finger to the sky. Dyed with the setting sun, the heavens above were a beautiful shade of crimson-infused purple. And there, right where he was pointing, we could see a small distortion in the air. That's... Yeah, apparently the sweets are so good she's passing on. We completely forgot about the spirit girl with the weak aura. She had an enormous grin on her face and met our gazes with a courteous bow, then disappeared into the sunset. As we left the cafe, the sun was only just peeking out over the distant horizon, growing smaller and dimmer by the moment. We never did find out which particular confection was the one that brought eternal rest to the little girl, but that also wasn't important. All that mattered was she moved on. Well, Mizuki, thank you for the food today. Everything was absolutely delicious. You're very welcome. I'm fit to burst right now. If I indulged in sweets like that every day, I'd fill out like a beach ball. I should probably give up the sugary foods for a while. I like this friend group. They are still very problematic, though. You know, fucking Magari's whole situation with being in a cult. Sayaka, kind of like, Sayaka's the very pick-me lesbian, and is, like, very possessive of Naho. And, you know, Naho had an unhealthy relationship with, her mentor within spirit items and heavenly host and shit. Inamaru is, you know, the pick-me boy, the desperate manservant. So, even though I like this friend group, they're still very as much problematic as the main friend group. Can we just talk about for a second that, you know, Ayumi is the new core of the Nirvana, and she's just sitting with the Book of Shadows in her, you know, her Nirvana that she made, and it's just her house, and she's just sitting in front of a mirror for all of eternity, quote-unquote protecting everyone. And by protecting everyone, she's literally just protecting Nakashima and, fucking the main guy, because those are the only two that didn't die. So, yeah. I should probably give up sugary foods for a while. For me, it was also delicious. I'd eat more anytime. Reservations are booked a full year in advance, though, so you won't be able to get back in for a while. Sag. That sucks. So tasty, it can even pacify spirits. You better watch out. Praise like that will go to my head. I can probably use my influence to sneak in another reservation for you sometime if you want. Really? Really? All I ask in return is say cheese. Mizuki's phone produced a sudden flash. Before I knew it, my picture had been taken. What are you doing? Remembering the day's events. Nothing wrong with that, right? She spun her phone around to show me the screen, and my face instantly turned red hot. It was a candid shot of me reacting to the sudden flash with a look of total confusion on my face. It was apparently now her wallpaper. What kind of expression is even that? Hey, that's no fair. I want a picture of you too, Naho. Come on, let me take one. My battery's dead. Luck is just not on your side today, Sayaka. That's okay, I'll just take one tomorrow. But a memento of today's events has to come from today, doesn't it? Sayaka, would you like me to take one with my phone instead? Naturally, it would have to be a picture of just you, since my phone has eyes for no one else, but still. There'd be no point in that then. That's not true, I'd be happy. I don't give a crap about your happiness. That's so cold. Okay, updated polyamory relationship. Sayaka, Naho, Aiko, and Magari. And then off to the side, who's not part of the sexual/romantic relationship, Inamaru the manservant. That's so cold. How could this happen at such an important moment? She put away her phone in disappointment, defeated and forlorn. This seemed to have been an oddly rough day for her. I don't think it would be good for Sayaka to spend more time with Mizuki today. Well, I guess I'll be heading back now. See you around, Mizuki. Bye. I like that they showed kind of all sides of Megari, that she's not just a one-sided character. She actually did somewhat care for these people as friends. Mizuki waved her hand in an exaggerated motion and slinked back into the cafe. Phew, what an exhausting day. No fooling. You think? I had a lot of fun spending my after-school hours with you, Sayaka. Dogs live such easy lives, don't they? Sayaka silently implied, "I'm done with you," elicited a wry smile from me. She was clearly too tired to care how her words came across. I actually felt kind of bad for Inamaru, but I couldn't help appreciating Sayaka's current state of mind. Maybe we were just a tad more simpatico than I'd given us credit for. I had a lot of fun, but it seems like you two weren't quite as entertained. How unfortunate. Wow, even without getting your hands on any smooth spirit items, you still managed to have a good time? Certainly not a bad one. Low-level spirits are goading from Megari aside. I was able to spend my after-school hours with close friends, and that's something of a first for me. What, you seriously never spent time with friends after school before, Aiko? I have not. But Aiko, you're so pretty, how can that be? Sayaka's compliment was met with a slight smile. Though it could have just been as easily been a pained smile, for all I know, since I'm sure this was dredging up some memories Aiko would have rather not thought about. Sayaka's comment definitely came from a place of pure innocence. However, in her mind, cute girls always drink tea and spend time with their friends after school. It's only natural. I'm usually busy gathering information. It doesn't leave me much time to socialize after classes. I also rarely come in contact with common folk who can't see spirits. What? Sayaka stopped dead in her tracks. This seemed to shock her a lot more than it should have. Her expression was almost cartoonish. Aiko looked back at her quizzically, tilting her head a bit. Why, did I say something strange? No, I get it now. Aiko, as of today, we're friends. Huh? You're okay with that, right, Naho? We'll both be friends with her. Sure. Given my long, turbulent history with Aiko, I wasn't really sold on the idea of counting her among my friends now. And my response wasn't exactly brimming with positivity, but I was kind of put on the spot, so I think it was a fair response, as could be expected. I didn't want to be upset with Sayaka after all, but the question was, how would Aiko react to this? I'm going to be friends with both of you then? That's right, what do you say? But I'm not exactly friend material, am I? Sayaka says it's okay, so why not just roll with it? If you can think of us as friends, I'm betting your attitude toward us might change a little too. We'll see about that. A decidedly dubious statement to make, but she didn't seem to even realize how it might have come across. So we're actually friends now. That word kind of tickles the tongue, doesn't it? Friends. Friends. Me when I first joined the KMB, what? It was 2020? Yeah, it was like 2020. Shit. This is my dad's birthday, March 27th. I decided to hop on the computer and try VR chat for the first time looking for the B-Cat. I joined the KMB world, and that night, it was a Thursday night, y'all were marching, and Tails came up to me and was like, "Are you here for the march?" And I literally turned around and was like, "The what?" And then boom, I became part of the KMB that night. Crazy. It's been, what, 4 years? That's crazy. Literally, that first night I was like, we're friends now? Friends. Friends. And then boom, here we are. Pog Moonlore. Yeah, literally, I joined that Thursday night, literally looking for the B-Cat. I was gonna grab the B-Cat and, you know, close the game forever. Because that's all I wanted. And I knew nothing really about VR chat. I never really watched anything except for, like, maybe Lolathon videos and Drumsy and all, you know, all the people who did VR chat content at the time and are still doing it now as VTubers. Because VTubing still, 4 years ago, wasn't a huge thing. VTubing is relatively, not new, but it's very, like, it's new to Twitch and has been, you know, growing since those 4 years. So, I mean, it's really been a thing since 2018 when, you know, VR chat became a thing. But as VR chat's gotten bigger and, you know, VR has been, like, the most prevalent news in gaming thus far right now, Um, you know, that's been the whole thing. People are becoming VTubers, and it's more normalized, I guess, within the gaming community. Because VTubers were a fairly new thing, and everyone was like, we can't see your face? What the fuck is a VTuber? A virtual YouTuber? And, you know, then it finally became normalized, and everyone was like, oh, okay. Like, I just don't want to show my face on the internet. I'll show my face to my friends. Like, I'll show my face to you guys. I don't really care. I mean, maybe, who knows? But, basically, you know, I like VTubing because, you know, if one day I do make it big, I can go to conventions and shit and go out to the grocery store without people knowing who I am because they don't know my face. They just know my voice, and they'll be like, oh, you sound like that one VTuber, and I'll be like, never heard of them. Never heard of them. What the fuck is a B-cat? And I'll pretend I am not me because celebrities don't want to be chased around the grocery store. So, yeah. That's my lore. March 27th of 2020, I joined the KMB, and I met all of you. I didn't meet you guys instantly. I met Tails first, and, you know, I hung out with Tails for like a year. You know, we're still very good friends, and we hang out from time to time. She's busy now with a bunch of other stuff. As we all are, you know, I have a full-time job. I can't really hang out at nights anymore, except, you know, the nights I'm off. But, yeah. I've met you Social, like, what, a few months after I joined the KMB, and, like, you know, no one knew who I was, and I quickly rose through the ranks. I don't know why. But, you know, I got, you know, good with the main group of people, which is, like, you, Dark, Shadow, Misfit, like, the whole main group of people that, like, have been running the KMB, and have been, like, you know, heads of the KMB for a while. I don't know how I rose through the ranks, or was even, like, not shy enough to not talk to you guys, but, like, you know, here we are. And I'm a parade manager of the KM Bend VR chat community. Crazy. Oh. But we did it, you know? Here we are. I'm representing the community by showing anime boobs on the internet. It has nothing to do with the KMB, but still. Yeah. Oh my god, it took me so long to become friends with Misfit. Because us, with both of our shy nature, and, like, both with new people, I was like, who is this? And they were like, and Tails always tell me the lore about Misfit, and I was like, who the fuck is Misfit? All I knew is that she was part of, they were part of the art team, and then, you know, I met them, and I heard about, you know, Misfit was my biggest fan from Tails, with, the first mic being overshadowed by her fan in her room. I am an enigma. Exactly. And I was like, who the fuck are you? And then you were like, who the fuck are you? And then, like, I think a year and a half into the KMB, we actually started talking and hanging out. And I was like, oh, you're not scary. You're just cool. And then I was like, wow, maybe this whole community is just full of shy nerds, just like me. And then VR chat for me became the introvert game, the social game for introverted people. Because I swear if I met any of you in real life, I would not talk this much. Because when I went to the convention, when I first met, like, you know, some of the people that we were playing the game with, gremlins are scary, to be fair. Please, yeah. But, no, when I first met some of the people at the convention we went to, I met Pi Boom, Teehee, Knives, Jinx, Shadow, and, oh god, I almost said a real name. No, I'm not gonna do that. Cyborg. It was a really fun week. Oh, and Retro Shiba. It was a really fun week. It was awesome. Me shy, I'm just feral and introverted. I feel that. But yeah, that's the lore. Now we're all friends and we hang out. You know, I was talking the other night, I definitely want to hang out a lot more now that I have VR, but literally me hopping alone into VR chat with my VR feels not worth it. It is so much more fun with friends. VR chat in VR is so much more fun with friends. Because, like, by myself, I'm like, what the fuck do I do now? But, anyway. Friends. Stop saying the word friends, it's embarrassing. Excuse me, what about me? I'm still here, you know. We're discussing a friendship among girls. We have no need for boys. In other words, you'll be jealous if I have other female friends. So you'd rather Niwa and I remain as acquaintances? Is that the gist of it? You really are getting on my nerves. Saika's explosive punches are flying pretty furiously today, it seemed. Staring down at the now KO'd Inamaru, she suddenly lit up with the brightest smile I had seen from her since leaving the cafe. Now then, I have a proposal. A memory of today's new-built friendships. How about we get ourselves some sticker photos? Sexy shot. Oh god, kind of real-life faces in an anime game. I know they're hand-drawn, but it kind of looks like AI, just because of how uncanny it looks. That gives me the ick. I'm sure you guys know, with the fucking AI art that's been happening the past, like, what, 2 years? That shit pisses me off. Well, it looks so creepy. Yeah. Damn, this is a long extra chapter. How the fuck did I think I was gonna finish all of these last night? Along a bustling street nearby, we found an arcade. Because the walkthrough said that they were pretty short, I just had to read, but damn, this is like literally as long as a regular chapter. Along a bustling street nearby, we found an arcade with a nice shiny row of sticker photo booths inside. I suspected Saika may have chosen this particular arcade for a very specific reason. However, there was a large nearby sign by the door which read, "No men allowed." Actually, that's the one that's a big thing I do like about Japan. There are women women-only spaces. There's the women-only train. I don't think it's the whole station, but there's one subway or train that's women-only because like the harassment within Japan is huge. Like, it's not a good culture, as in like the harassment culture down there. It's crazy. Because, like, anime has normalized it as, like, a normal trope, and people take that to heart. And, you know, men are, like, I'm not saying all men, it's not all men, but a majority of men, no matter where they're from or who they are, harass women a lot. A lot. Like, sexually, physically, emotionally. That's why I really don't get along with men easily, especially straight cis men. Like, I don't want to get into it too much, because, like, I don't want to be the, you know, man hater, or, like, the person hater, but, like, I'm not saying women are great, too. Everyone has the chance to be fucking awful, but still. Oh, if y'all don't know, there's been this huge debate online about if you were in the woods, who would you rather be with? Be stuck in the woods with a man, or be stuck in the woods with a bear? And everyone, and, you know, men are being like, what's wrong with being alone with a woman and a man in the woods? And, you know, they just don't get it. Because being alone in the woods with a man, yeah, I'd be with the fucking bear. I'd let the bear eat me alive. At least I'd die in an instant. Where a man, you know, if I was a woman, or if, you know, another gay man fucking, you know, took advantage of me, which is very likely. Gay culture is horrible. As much as I love standing up for my own community, like, you know, the gay community, my community, and as a gay I can say this, is not fucking great. It's not awful, it's not awesome, it's not great. I was actually gonna bring up that question. Yeah, but bear. Exactly. Like, a lot of straight men don't get it because they haven't experienced it, because they're not, you know, women. They don't understand that if they were a cis woman, attractive or not, a lot of cis straight men, or, you know, any man for that matter, would capture the woman, and instead of instantly killing her, he would take her, abuse her, you know, sexually assault her, do anything and everything, and torture her, even kidnap. Like, that shit's horrifying. At least the bear, you have a chance to get away, depending if you know what kind of bear it is. Like, if it's a brown bear, I think you're supposed to make a lot of noise, and it will get spooked and run away. Like, if it's a grizzly bear. But if it's a black bear, they say to just lay down and die. Because you're not going to escape a black bear. It doesn't care about loud noises. It will just kill you. At least with the bear, I die instantly, you know? Or, you know, it would chomp on my leg and, you know, I would take a few minutes to bleed out and die. But, like, you know, a man would capture me. Sea bear circle, sea bear circle. Yeah. If sea bear circle. But, like, you know, if I was a cis woman, or any type of woman, or any female presenting person, I'd choose the bear. Because the bear wouldn't take me to its den and, you know, fucking sexually harass me. And kidnap me. And torture me. The bear would simply eat me. It would literally hit me with its paw and I'd probably be knocked out, and then, you know, it would chomp on my leg and I'd bleed out and die while unconscious. So the bear would instantly kill me. A man would take weeks to months, even years, if anyone noticed you were missing, to, like, depending on how long people would notice if you're missing or not, would torture you. A bear wouldn't torture me. A bear would simply kill me. Instantly. God, I need a drink. I'm not using the 2B back screen, because I'm literally just going 5 feet away. Damn, I'm out of Propel water. I gotta buy some more. I have a Mountain Dew Voltage. There's some new Mountain Dews that came out that I need to try. I don't know where to get them though. I haven't been to Walmart in so long, even though I literally went to like one of my favorite restaurants that's right in front of a Walmart by me. I don't know, I haven't stepped into a Walmart in forever. Because, like, the place that I work, I literally buy all my snacks and my drinks from there now. Because it's convenient and I get a discount. So. But once I'm feeling, like, you know, a huge shopping spree, as in, like, for food and snacks, I'll probably go to Walmart. Because, like, it's not cheap there anymore, but it's, like, cheap. It's good enough cheap. But, like, I swear, inflation goes up overnight. Because I went to Walmart once to, you know, because I have a cat, and I got cat litter, cat treats, and cat food. And the litter was, like, $15.99, right? One day, and the treats for, like, the treats were, like, $10, and the food was, like, $10. Then, literally, the next day that I went to that same Walmart, overnight, the litter spiked up to $20.99 for the big thing, even though the literal other day it was $15.99. It went up to $20.99 or $19.99 or whatever. The cat treats went up to $15.99 or $20 or whatever. No, it went up to like $15.99 to like $5, $6 more, and then the food went up as well. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? Literally yesterday, it was this price. But, you know, that's how fucking government and money works. I don't even want to get into that. I truly sometimes don't understand how money works, because it's literally green paper we're just trading each other. Just because we have bills. Highway robbery. Yeah, exactly. Literally, there's just bills that say that, you know, this green paper has, you know, monetary value to it. Which, whatever. We should have just did the trading system or stayed with that. You know, for my hand in marriage, I'm worth three goats, a bear pelt, and at least one ring made from a pterodactyl bone. Oh my god. Crazy. Money is crazy. But yeah, to end that discussion, money's crazy. I would choose the bear. Wild. No men allowed. I do, and as I was saying, I do like this part of culture in Japan where, you know, there's women-only spaces. But then there's, like, foreigners, like, there's people from America or, like, travelers that go there traveling, and they just fucking disrespect everything. And it's like, How hard is it for you to do research to find out how not to be a fucking dick? I don't get it. If you're going to somewhere that's not native to your culture, literally, I'm not asking you to learn the language or, you know, learn every little bit of information there is, but do some research and be respectful. Like, is that so hard? It's not. Tough break tomorrow. Guys can't go in, so you have to wait here for us. Oh, wait, hold on. There's fine print, see? It says men are allowed when accompanied by women. Look, it's written right here. Come on, Naho, Aiko, let's go. We left Inamara to enter despite his attempts to follow us inside, and we headed straight for the photo booths. You don't feel a little bad for the poor guy? Nah, if Inamara were in the shot, who knows what he'd do with those stickers. That's a good point, actually. See? They get it. Aiko provided no argument either, so we all just shrugged off Inamara's misfortune, and then stepped up into one of the few booths that was unoccupied, signaling the other two to follow. How's this one look? Works for me. Over here, Aiko. Enter at will. It's quite bright in here. It's a photo booth, dumbass. Aiko was memorized by the booth, squinting as she looked over the lights along the screen. Is this your first time taking one of these, Aiko? Yes, though I certainly understand the concept and functionality, of course. You didn't understand why it was bright. It needs to take your picture. Okay, then I'll give you one expert level piece of advice. When taking a sticker photo, always make sure you're looking at the camera, not the screen. Alright. Aiko nodded, though her movement felt calculated and stiff. She was clearly very nervous. Come to think of it, the first time I took a sticker photo was also with Sayaka, huh? First time was always kind of nerve-wracking. I have to blow my nose. Once we picked our shot, let's write "Friends Forever" on it, and tear it apart into 6 different pieces of paper, and then get transported to another dimension. We wrote that back when the two of us took our first photo too, right, Naho-chan? That's right. I see. Aiko's quick response felt hollow and forced. She was still stiff as a board, like her spirit had been left behind somewhere. In a way, her awkward hesitation had a certain charm to it. It proved that she was being genuine, that she was human. How about we group hug in the picture? We might as well. Okay. What background should we use? I don't know, you pick. Okay, got it. We made a few selections, then the background behind Aiko changed. She must not have known about that part. It was actually kind of funny. Okay, here we go. Right. Oh, Aiko, come closer, hurry. 3, 2, 1. This is cute. I know we've seen this picture throughout the whole game, but this is a really good shot. I like this one. This game has really inspired me to get back into art. I really kind of just want to draw, you know, like all these different shots. How I used to do art, because I haven't drawn in so long, I would stare at the image for hours on end and like slowly, like on a canvas or something or on another piece of paper, I would draw what I see. It's kind of like transporting it from my eyes onto a different medium. So if I looked at the screen for hours and I had a canvas in one hand and my face was looking at that, I would look at the canvas and look at the picture and, you know, slowly draw it out. And that's how I used to do art, because while I can mentally make images in my mind and draw them, it's really hard for me to do that, and it doesn't look good. But when I would look at something for hours and hours and hours on end, like, I could transport it from my eyes to a piece of paper. And I used to be really good at that. Like, my art wasn't terrible, and it wasn't great. But, you know, it was something I enjoyed, and I still really like to do. Just, I haven't had inspiration in so long, but definitely anime and things like this make me want to draw again. After several flashes and clicks, an image of us was displayed on the monitor in it. In it, Sayaka and I were hugging, but Aiko was standing behind us, with a furtive look in her eyes. Aiko, why weren't you embracing us? Oh, you're right, I completely forgot. You were nervous, weren't you? Of course not. Aiko's mouth said no, but her blood-red cheeks said otherwise. This was the first time I'd ever seen Aiko flustered. Why don't we take one more? No, I like this one. I think it shows our true natures. Plus, it's kind of funny, don't you think? Aiko touched the monitor with her finger and laughed. Alright, let's call it a day here then. Okay, I wonder if this would make Mizuki jealous. Is that what you were after all along? Of course not. It was to commemorate the forming of our friendship with Aiko. Sayaka spun gleefully in place and held one hand out to Aiko. At first I didn't get along too well, but I get the feeling that deep down where it counts, you're not such a bad person after all. I hope we can be the bestest of buds from here on out, to our new friendship. This is what I like about this girl. I'd always had a tendency to either be way too blunt or way too familiar with people, bringing them down to my level without even realizing it. But on numerous occasions I truly felt Sayaka had saved me from myself. To our new friendship, Sayaka, and to you, Naho. Aiko shook hands with Sayaka and smiled at me. Yeah, cold and blonde as usual. But I could feel the red spreading across my face, and I was certain Sayaka and Aiko knew how I felt regardless. Naho's face turning red, and Sayaka's smiling gleefully. Two beautiful, endlessly expressive images gone forever. That day almost feels like a dream now. The funny thing is, if nothing of note had really even happened, we just ate a whole lot of sweets, talked for a long time, and took sticker photos. All told, we only spent a few hours with each other. Just a few wild hours messing around after school one day. That's what I miss about having, like, physical friends. Like, obviously I have friends like you guys, but nothing's really physical. Because, you know, VR chat, everything's kind of through a screen. But, you know, we're all from all over the world, so it's obviously very hard to get together. But I joined these, like, groups online, and I keep getting emails from them, but I'm still so fucking shy and introverted that I'd never go to them. But they're kind of like adult groups where, like, you know, adults get together and they hang out. And I've joined some, like, nerd groups that, like, do D&D or play video games together or, you know, go out and about on the town. I get emails from them. I'm like, I kind of want to go and I want to make new friends, but also fuck that. I already have great friends. And I already have really great friends here in my little my computer. So... But then I get that itch sometimes that's like, damn, I want to go out and physically do something with someone. But then again, I'm like, ew, brother, eh. Ew, brother, eh. That's what I do like about VR chat. It's like going out and hanging out. But then again, I'm not actually there and not actually physically with the people. There was this one time, back in high school, me and my two friends, we were big foodies, so we went to our, we went around one night after play practice to a bunch of different restaurants we liked. We went to IHOP, went to this noodle place that we liked, we went to this burger place, went to this other place, went to like 6 different places that night, and sat down and just, and like a Chinese food place, we like, went to so many places and ate like full meals. I don't know how we fit all that food into us. Like they were talking about the sweets, we just ate, and we laughed and we talked, and it was like the best night of my life. Or at least one of the best nights of my life. It's a fond memory. I haven't talked to those friends in so long, but like obviously in our age with social media, I see everything and everyone on social media all the time, and like I see my friends are doing great, but you know, our lives are kind of separate now. We haven't hung out because, you know, all my friends are graduating college now, and I never went to college. That was kind of my differentiating quality between me and my friends. All of my friends were super smart. They all had like good heads on their shoulders, and they wanted more for their lives. And, you know, it's not that I don't want more for my life, but I've always been kind of simple. Not doing too much and not really, like, being the exploring type within real life. I kind of stay in my own lane and don't do as much new stuff as I think I should. But, yeah. All of my friends are graduating college now. It's like, damn. I had the opportunity to go to college, but... And, like, I'm not saying I'm dumb. I'm not. By any, like, farthest of means. Like, I graduated high school with all A+. But then again, most of my shit was online, so it wasn't really that hard in the first place because 2020 I was in school at the time, and in March of 2020, March 13th, that's when everything became digital for me because schools stopped going to in-person school because that's when COVID started with the huge spikes in death and everything. So there was no more physical school for anyone. I never got my graduation, so I never got that experience. I never got to go to prom, and that was one thing I was looking forward to my whole high school career. Even though I was like, I was really bullied a lot. I had good friends, like I had a good group of friends, like 6 people to hang out with, but and they were great outlets for me, and hopefully I was a great outlet for them. A good friend to them, but I never got those experiences I really wanted. I really wanted to go to graduation and be like, I fucking did it. But, COVID ruined that. COVID ruined prom, too. Uh, and, like, I saw pictures on social media, like, they had their own secret prom, and it was, like, all the fucking popular kids. And I'm like, why the fuck would you do this to everyone? Like, why would you do that? Also, like, sure, it was an outside prom, but, like, only the fucking elite of the elite were invited, and it was, like, a fucking secret until after the fact. And I'm like, why would you do that to everyone? First of all, I wouldn't have even gone, even if it was outside, and none of my friends went either because fucking we weren't popular. We were all fucking nerds, into anime and shit, and we were all horrendously bullied, and that's why we only got along with each other. But, you know, and that's why I say like the respect thing, like why is it so hard to like do your research and respect and easily respect each other and not be like racist or be fucking mean to people. Like I'm not the nicest person. Like I will if like I'm really not a nice person. I'm only nice to you if you're nice to me. Like I grew up with the saying give the respect that you want to be treated with. So the moment you treat me any differently, like if you start like fucking cursing me out and fucking yelling at me, I'm giving you that same energy but 10 times more. Like if you think you've met a bitch in your life, no, I am the bitch. Because the second you double cross me or the second you become mean with me, ooh, I'm making your life a living hell. I'm sorry. Like I'm sorry about it. Just don't be a fucking bitch to me, and you won't get the same treatment. So, because I've got no time for that. Especially as an adult now. Like if you're gonna act like a kid, or if you're gonna be a bitch, I have no time for you anymore. But I digress. Literally. But as I was saying, the respect thing. All of my friends were different ethnicities. I was literally the only like white kid in my whole friend group. So like I learned about all the like a bunch of other cultures because like my like out of the group of 6 friends I had, it was my one friend came from an Egyptian background. My other friend came from Korean roots. My other friend came from Taiwanese roots. My other friend came from Chinese roots. Then my other friend came from Indian roots. And then my other friend came from Russian roots. So all of us were different. So I learned, a lot about different cultures and I tried to learn different languages so I can get to know them better because one of my friends went by her for a long time just because she was trying to fit in and be like she was trying to fit in for a long time, so she used her Americanized name, which I'm not going to say as out of respect for privacy, but she started using her traditional Chinese name that she was born with when she graduated or in senior year, because she was like, why am I trying so hard to fit in when I can share with people my natural culture and be who I was born as and who I am. So she started going by her traditional Chinese name, and I thought it was really strong of her and really awesome. And she taught me that whole group of friends, not just her but all of them, really taught me about these different cultures and things that I didn't know about because I'm not gonna say I was ignorant and I wasn't ignoring it. It's just I didn't know a lot of shit because it's not taught to kids in America. It's really about other cultures. It's really not. Everything's like I'm pretty sure y'all know everything is whitewashed. Everything. So It was really nice to have, friends like that where, everyone was different and I got to learn about all those different cultures. Sure, do I know every little thing? No, not at all. So if I'm ever disrespectful in any way, I educate myself, unlike a lot of other people. So yeah. I kind of miss just having that outlet of, like, physical friends. But obviously I have you guys, and that's cool. Damn, when did this corpse party game become a therapy game? I'm gonna start a podcast. This is just gonna be called Moon's Therapy Hour, and I'm just gonna talk at the screen about my problems. No, I'm kidding. But holy shit. But that's some Moon lore for you. Damn, Moon's lonely. Weird. Moon has anxiety and mental illness. It's like we didn't know that already. Free therapy, Pog. True. Just, I'm here for you guys if you ever need to talk. I love you guys. Damn, I'm like that drunk friend that, like, gets so, like, blissfully drunk, and I'm like, I love you guys. I'm never gonna get drunk though. I'm not another moon lore for you. I do not drink. I've never done any drugs in my life. I stay away from that crap because I got a heart condition, and that's enough to render me useless at points. So why would I speed that up by doing drugs or drinking? I don't get it. Also, alcohol tastes fucking disgusting, and I don't understand the need for drugs. Like, even smoking, while that is, like, very tame drug, it's still nicotine. Like, I don't get any of that. I don't understand it. I don't see the need for it. I don't understand why people do it. I will personally never put any of that in my body. Hey, I don't drink either. Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not gonna judge you for it. It's your body and your life, and I respect that. But, if you push that shit onto me, I'm not gonna hang out with you because I don't try to push it on you. Don't try to push it on me. The only thing I will be pushing is the gay agenda. I'm kidding. If you're not gay, that's cool. I guess. I just don't want to see. I just don't want to see. Oh, I don't want my kids thinking it's okay to be straight. I'm kidding. Just a few wild hours just a few wild hours messing around after school one day. But those days are never coming back. Naho and Sayaka are now dead. And they're... Hey, that's what they say about the community all the time. They're like, you're pushing your gay agenda. I don't want these kids reading these books about trans people or about gay people. And then I'm like, why? I have to read books about straight people, and I have to read books about straight sex, and I have to read books about, men and women, and I have to, or cis men and cis women having relations. Like, what? And and then they bring God into it. Like, oh my God, I don't even want to talk about that. Like, that's gonna get me angry. So then they're like, yeah, but the book says this, and I'm like, you mean the book that has literal billions, if not trillions, of transcripts rewritten about it every year by human beings who know nothing about, the afterlife. We don't know if there's ghosts. We don't know if there's heaven or a hell. Believe in what you believe in. That's your right. But don't try to push it down my throat, please. And I won't do the same, with about being gay. It's not like I go out. It's not like I go out of my way and, like, go up to people and say, "Hi, I'm Moon. I'm gay." Like, I don't fucking do that. I don't tell anyone. Like, I think people just assume because in most of my day-to-day life, I'm a very expensive bitch, so I wear very expensive clothes. Like, and I wear high heels, like, a majority of the time. So they're like, male presenting figure wearing high heels kind of indicates that, like, hey, I might be a little fruity. It's not like I go up to you and I'm like, and I say a bunch of shit. I don't. I stay in my lane and I don't talk to people. I'm very quiet. So, yeah. Anyway. Their deaths triggered an intense despair, hatred, and sheer insanity within Haruyuki, all of which was directed squarely at me. That day we all were laughing together. Where had things gone wrong? Somewhere along the line, somebody must have had some kind of mistake. But who? Is it my fault? Cannot forgive, will never forgive. I had to apologize, both to the girls who'd already died and the person who had gone mad in front of my eyes. I'm sorry. I couldn't even get the whole word out. The sheer depths of rage bore into my skull, and out I went like a light. How did she not die the entire game? She got set on fire. She got her head cut off. She got fucking killed, I guess, or, like, hurt by, you know, an enraged Namaru. How the fuck did this bitch not die? That was extra chapter 4, Memories Like Beautiful Dreams. Shit, that was an hour and a half. I mean, I'm still gonna keep going. I don't have work until 10 p.m., so I can keep going. I want to get through these, but damn, these are long. That was extra chapter 4, on to extra chapter 5. Blood Drive, extra chapter 5, Threading the Needle. In the depths of Martuba's tomb HQ, in the storage room, stacked high with books to rival any libraries, I was hard at work researching my mark, squatting on the ground to read the books I'd spread out before me. The Book of Shadows originally belonged to Martuba's tomb, right? So where's all the info on its roots? Achoo! Ugh, it's so dusty in here. I hit the shelf behind me with my back when I sneezed, and after a couple seconds had passed, a fairly heavy book fell from above, landing right on my spine. Ow, damn it, what the hell? Put this shit away next time, you fuckers! I observed the fallen tome, which had serendipitously opened to a photo that looked an awful lot like the very book I was seeking. Before I could read the associated pages, however, a member of the Order appeared and gave me a stiff salute. Mistress Magari of the Second Degree, we've completed our analysis of the Ever After Stones. Their spiritual composition shows a nominal 83% accuracy to the originals. Okay, good work. Those are the stones I swiped from Aiko Niwa, though, right? You assholes better not have replicated the damn things without my consent. We would never. Fine then, just remember, this is my prey. Anyone who gets in my way will be eliminated, Martuba or otherwise. What the fuck? I just said these were long. That took 5 seconds of reading. Threading the Needle. Extra chapter. Okay. Dude, that chapter could have been an email. Extra chapter 6. Separation. Speed run. I remember I was leaning against the wall in the small basement room with indirect lighting, and Hidoi was sitting in a chair across the room from me, holding a coffee mug. A beautiful silver bracelet on her left wrist caught the light, sparkling majestically. Thank goodness the test results were negative at least. Pregnant? I swear to you, Henry, I tracked down every member of the team that assaulted you and tear them to fucking ribbons. Oh, she got sexually harassed. She got sexually harassed. We were just talking about this. Those pieces of shit have no reason to live. They don't deserve to breathe the same air as us. All they do is mass-produce little fuckers just like themselves. God damn it, this one needs to just die. And I'm gonna crush it myself with my own 2 hands. Mizuto. Inoi's tone of voice was calm and soothing. She was trying to bring me back from the rage that had consumed me. When I was younger, I used to think much the same way. I couldn't do anything but suffer, and no one was ever there to help me. It felt like even my friends had betrayed me. I truly wish that outside of my family, everybody in the entire world would just drop dead. I was a sophomore in junior high at the time. I still think that way. And I did too for a long time, but then I grew up. And I realized that I'd met and become good friends with so many different people in just those few short years. And I was glad to have those people in this world. I was so glad to know they were alive. So please know that you'll regret it if you end everything based on how you feel at one single moment in time. Your tale won't come to a happy end like a regular story should. Shut up. My ideology comes from all the crap that I've had to live through. There's no junior high. This is no junior high grudge. I want to see those who terrorize the weak get what's coming to them from the people they hurt. There's no hesitation at all in your ideals, is there? I'm rather envious of that. Hinui closed her eyes and smiled. She then drew her knees into her chest and wrapped her arms around them, contemplating something. Hinui? I don't think I can be with someone like you. Don't cry, Hinui. I'm sorry. Don't apologize. Come on, it's okay. I'm so sorry. Hinui buried her head in her hands and began to cry. You don't need to apologize. We separated that day due to hello? To irreconcilable. I got it. I graduated high school. Differences in our personal philosophies. And that's around when I began working toward what I felt was my destiny, the Purge. Yeah, I did it. I chose a highly populated area and killed a lot of people. And it didn't even bother me because they were all just pieces of human waste, polluting the world. My headless corpse now lay in Heavenly Host Nirvana. A silver bracelet dimly glinting upon its wrist. Extra Chapter 6, Separation. Extra Chapter 7. Will I drive? Extra Chapter 7. Satsuki's Heart. I don't have any clear memories of my childhood, but I do remember my parents being kind. It was dusk, and the room was completely unlit. It was so dark inside that we could have been entertaining guests, and I'd never have known it, because I'd never been able to see them. I felt alone, but I knew I wasn't, and I was determined to get my mom's attention. Mom, I'm hungry. Assuming she hadn't moved since the sun had started setting, my mom was probably still sitting at our small kitchen table, leaning her elbows on it and cradling her forehead. This is the third time I informed her of my desire to eat, and finally this time I could hear her start to move at the sound of my voice. Though this was my home, it had always just felt like an empty void to me. And now it was more than just a feeling. I noticed my voice was echoing a lot more than it ever used to. All of our furniture was mysteriously disappearing, day in and day out. Yesterday was the toaster, and the day before was the piano. The day before that was our chest of drawers. And today was Dad? Where had Dad gone, I wondered. Mom? Mom shot a move slightly, silhouetted in the shade of black, only slightly different from the rest of the blackness around me. She extended her arm in my direction. I'm sorry, Satsuki. Her tone, like the house itself, was dark. Maybe just it sounded that way because of the general mood in the room. Hopefully that's all it was, I thought. Mom, the lights won't turn on. I'm sorry, Satsuki. Suddenly, my field of vision shook violently, and my surroundings began flittering by like shooting stars. Flashes of light were whizzing to and fro as the barely discernible ceiling pattern above me was phasing in and out of existence. The legs of the table I was sitting at began to melt away, and I saw my mom's face for a moment, and then there was a strange march of frying pans flying through the air, which was especially strange since we only owned one frying pan. My entire face began to swell and go into convulsions. My ears were howling and ringing. I could barely hear anything anymore. The areas under my nose and ears were all wet and cold as well. Was that snot, earwax? What was I feeling? Satsuki! I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. See, whenever this happened, Mom would always hang back and rest her head for a bit, but would then hug me with the kindest, warmest, most sickeningly sweet embrace. That's why I love them. I love frying pans. I love what they represent to me. She being abused? I'm sorry, dear, but this is all I have. Mom gave me some potato chips. They weren't exactly my favorite brand, so their flavor was kind of iffy, but it's the thought that counts, right? There were cartons and cartons of potato chip bags all throughout our house, and they were all for me. I was the only one who really ate them. And whenever I did, Mom would always seem to be a little happier for some reason. So frying pans were my favorite objects, and potato chips were my favorite food. Satsuki, in 3 days, you have a very important role to fulfill. A role? What's this role? It's something joyous. You're to be reborn through the incomparable wisdom of the Archbishop. You'll be one rank higher than ordinary humans. Oh yeah, I forgot, because her parents were part of Martuba's tomb, which she became part of Martuba's tomb. Hold on, I gotta blow my nose again before I go on this tangent. Okay. So her parents became part of Martuba's tomb. I'm not sure when. I don't know if they've always been a part of it, but it was something in one of the chapters that we learned about. And Satsuki became part of Martuba's tomb as well, but like her parents. And then we saw in one of the chapters that Satsuki's head ripped open, kind of like if you've ever seen Stranger Things. She kind of looked like a Demogorgon. Her head like ballooned out, and there was like a bunch of teeth and a hole in there. So I guess she was offered, I guess we'll see in this, she was probably offered as a sacrifice and revived somehow and turned into some sort of like into some sort of monster or whatever. So we'll see. All rise, bitch. Satsukin, what's up? Oh, Mizuhara. This was Harue Mizuhara. I'd known her since grade school. I still wasn't sure how to react when someone called out to me, though, so I just stared at her blankly. What is it? Well, aren't you Miss Gloomy again today? Can't you at least give me a what's up every now and again? Whatever, Satsukin. This weekend we have to hit up land. We can't just keep talking about it and not go. I can't do weekends. I have meetings. So, I guess she didn't have such an outgoing personality like she does when we see her in the game. For crying out, why not leave all that religion crap to your parents? You at least want to go with me, don't you? I know that face. I know it well. I know how much you love those Maki pants that I brought you from there. Not Maki. Maki moose, everyone. I do want to go, but... Ignore your parents, girl. Ditch them. Give them the heave-ho. Huh. Mizuhara was genuinely really funny. She had a certain sense of timing about her that made it hard for me not to get sucked in. I didn't usually laugh as a rule, but this girl could really bring it out of me. Honestly, wouldn't it be nice if people could pick and choose their parents? You could be so bright and cheery if you weren't always cooped up in Darksville. Plus, you got a good pair on you, so why not use those to bring all the boys to the yard? Be like all boingy boingy. Say you're the bitch that got her to use her boobs against us. Later that day, Mizuhara had gotten into a car accident on her way home from school. Her jaw had shattered on impact, preventing her from ever smiling again. Since then, she hadn't come to school a single time. I wouldn't come to school if I got hit by a car, too. You must be Satsuki. It's nice of you to come. You're just a good girl despite your young age. You show a firm grasp of reason and understand the nobility of self-sacrifice. You truly are a wonder. I was brought to this suspicious place through some magic that obviously leaned a bit on the dark side. I remember I was really cold there since I was wearing nothing but a thin black robe. Following her parents' orders without talking back at all, she must be a very good child indeed. This was the headquarters of Martuba's tomb. I was in a room lined with terrifying-looking devices, and everyone around me was dressed in similar robes, listening intently, almost passionately, to their leader's voice. My mind was a blank slate. I had a slight smile on my face, but I didn't want to make eye contact, so I just focused all my attention on a random piece of floor. Yes, Mistress Magari, our child truly is most honest and obedient. As you can see, we'll do anything we can to be of use to the Order. Anything at all. Is that so? Then how about you pay your fucking dues for a change? I wonder if you could even guess how many times you've defaulted. Yes, Mistress. Satsuki, my pawn, do you accept this fate of your own volition? I gave him an empty smile and turned my gaze lazily toward the corner of the ceremony room. What I saw there gave me a sudden chill, though. I did my best not to show it. Sticking out from a massive earthenware pot was Harui's face, thoroughly bloody with eyes rolled back into her skull. Ignore your parents, girl. Ditch 'em. Streams of drool and blood alike had stained her lifeless chin. She appeared very much as if she had literally just been thrown away like yesterday's garbage. Satsuki, my pawn, what's it to be? The parents of those who accept this fate will be granted a powerful position within our holy order. The room fell silent, no doubt anxiously awaiting my response. I've been trying my hardest to swallow my emotions, but there are just some feelings a person can't suppress, and one of them has made its way up from my heart and out of my mouth. I don't want to die, Mistress Magari. It was accompanied by a sudden flurry of tears, and my parents immediately began to show signs of extreme panic on their faces. They looked at me as if I just committed the greatest affront known to man. They were afraid, but also disgusted. Their stares were cold and accusatory. This is a transformation experiment, right? I don't want that. Alright. This simple affirmative statement was followed by one quick flick of the wrist, and suddenly my parents were now missing the upper halves of their bodies. Well. It required almost no effort. My parents each now lay in two pieces, making a squishy, slimy, awful sound as they died. That's just what I was hoping for from you, Satsuki. Live on for your friend Mizuhara. You can live under me. I'll take you in as my pet. I'll even prepare replacement parrots for you. Parents. Now then, let the spiritual surgery begin. I am Satsuki Mizuhara, and I have been born on this day. What a crazy fucking side story. Satsuki's heart. Extra Chapter 8 has been unlocked. Let's go, this should be the last one. Blood Drive Extra Chapter 8, Reignition. After Ayumi Shinozaki sealed away their nirvana, those who lost their lives at Heavenly Host Elementary were able to exist in this world once again. But the dead can never truly be brought back to life. The entity walls in the nirvana may be gone, but they left massive chasms in the earth and countless casualties in their wake. Plus, according to Satoshi Mochida, Koan Niwa, and all the students who took the place of his formerly existentless friends in this world have now been erased in their stead. Though Koan Niwa's existence isn't entirely gone, she still somehow exists in memory as Aiko Niwa's sister. And while they don't exactly remember how or why this came to be, Perfect Life is now short one CEO and has fallen into total chaos, trying to find and train a replacement. We are shamans. We have witnessed the entirety of history. When Queen Himiko fell during the Yamate Koku, we were there. When the wall fell during the Eastern Europe Revolution, we were there. We have been resurrected time and again, standing proud as the eras shift. We alone have moved this world. Praise for we resurrect her again, and pleasing omen of the earth's newest impending shift. Unguarded souls, thou hast failed in thy past life, and must now bear witness to our revolution. This is our gospel. Behold the child, last night a miracle was born unto our order. The mother be not known, but a birth at such age, 'tis surely the second coming of God. This child has potential. This child shall one day grow to be our successor. Let us all praise this child. Once the cleanup efforts from the Nirvana incident had more or less become old news, I decided to pay the order a visit and see what was up. Damn, this place sure went south. It's been forever since I last came here, but look at this place. Damage everywhere, holes in the walls and floors, a neglected flag slanted on its pole, a mess all around. Mistress Magari, I'm pleased you've come back to us safely. One of the few remaining members, and there were so many before. I wonder where they all disappeared to. Not that I should have ever trusted them to keep their shit together in the first place when the apocalypse came knocking. I was kind of mad at myself for being surprised at all. Don't know who this person is, but he's looking at me kind of nervously. Where's the founder? Well... When one of the several entity walls sprouted near the Order's HQ, our founder apparently panicked and fell down the stairs and died. Damn. So is the reason there are so few members now because everybody died? Mostly, there were several others who ran away in fear as well. Even among the elites? I'm afraid so. I turned around and walked out of the room. The springs creaked and groaned as I tossed about in my bed. What the fuck was that? The point in devoting my life to the Marchubas? I got up and jumped right back down onto the mattress once more. I wanted to break the fucking thing. All the shit I did. The whole purpose behind my existence. It was all for nothing. I slammed the bed repeatedly with my fist and the springs rocked back and forth vigorously. This whole fucking time I've done everything on my own, ever since I was abandoned. And when Waldo took me in, I thought I'd finally found my reason to live. I got where I am today by never losing to anyone, but now there's no one left. They're all fucking gone. My eyes were red and I was out of breath as I threw my tantrum. A familiar figure stepped in through my bedroom door carrying a tray. Welcome back, madam. I brought you some milk tea. I got up and threw myself at Waldo with every last bit of force my muscles could push. Instantly, I was bawling. Madam, Waldo was old and wise. He was my rock in all of this. Waldo, I want you to promise me something. Do you ever leave me? You got that? Of course. He smiled at me. This order needs to be rebuilt, and I'm going to be the one to rebuild it. I'm going to make it better than ever. Come on, we've got a lot of work to do. But of course, madam. And that's what happened after Ayumi became the new core of the Nirvana. And I'm guessing this leads into Dead Patient. Well, goddamn. We did it. We fucking did it. Oh my god. Corpse Party Blood Drive has come to an end. We did it, Joe. Anyway. Thank you all for joining me through this long-ass game. And me not knowing how to read. Oh my god. But this added so much lore to what I hope to see coming up in Corpse Party 2 Dead Patient. Which, you know, I might take the day off tomorrow, but we will hop in again very soon. Back into Corpse Party. That was the main first chapter of Corpse Party. Corpse Party Blood Covered, Corpse Party Book of Shadows, Corpse Party Sweet Satoko's Hysteric Birthday Bash, and Corpse Party Blood Drive. Thank you all so much for joining me for Chapter 1 of this amazing series. We'll be diving into Chapter 2, Corpse Party 2 Dead Patient, within the next few days. I will see you all next time. If you're watching the VOD, thank you for watching the VOD. Thank you for joining me in the live stream if you're still here. And if you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much for joining me. What a wild ride. And the series is not even over yet. All my homies hate Ayumi. Ayumi's still alive in the fucking Nirvana core, so we'll see how that goes. If they even bring up her character within Dead Patient. Because I think it's a whole new cast of characters. But we will see. This is Moonsong, signing out. Goodbye.